Today we're going to look at the final type of writing task one task, which is before and after maps. So it could be a city, it could be an island that's undergone development, but basically you're going to have one map that shows what a city looked like in the past, or what an island looked like in the past, and then what it looks like today. Okay. So the two maps below show a city before and after a period of redevelopment. So how do we group this kind of information? How do we organize our comparison? Because this is really what it is. It's a comparison task. Is there any other way that you could group the information rather than just doing before in one body paragraph and after in the other body paragraph?
I got one. Maybe showing the transformation of the city in the different sides of the city, up and south.
Yeah, that could work quite well, is to just divide your map into different areas. In this case, you've got a clear dividing line. You've got this river that runs through the middle. So you could do, for example, north of the river and south side of the river. And then within these two distinctions, you could basically just make your way across from the northwest quadrant, north central, northeast quadrant, southwest quadrant, south central quadrant, or south central area rather, and southeast quadrant. And then you make your comparisons at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. What about the time information? What kind of verb tense information are we going to use here? Always take a look at the dates because it affects your verb tenses.
Simple past and simple present.
Yes, to describe what it looked like in the past and what it looks like today. But if you're describing the change itself, what's the appropriate verb tense? Present perfect. If you use phrases like has been replaced by, that's present perfect. Has been developed, present perfect. Notice we're also using passive voice extensively. Because otherwise you're going to have baby English, like people have developed, the city has developed. Use passive voice, has been developed, has been replaced by, has been built, has been erected is another word you can use. So present perfect is definitely something you need to use here. Okay. So we've talked about this. This is basically everything that you mentioned. So here's some additional vocabulary that'll come in handy. Remains unchanged, is still the same, remains the same, is still there, hasn't been touched, is still in the same location. Have been replaced by, you can also say have made way for, have been demolished to make way for. This is a good word. Are gone, and a something something has been built there. So let's do a bit of writing. We're going to start with the context. So we just want to paraphrase the prompt and we want to try and do it chunk by chunk. So we have here, we very often see the exact same construction in the description of the graph. We've got subject, verb, object, preposition, phrase. The two maps, ignore below. Your verb is show, object is a city, and then a preposition phrase before and after a period of redevelopment. You can always start with the illustration depicts. Depicts is a great word. You can remember it because it's got the same root as picture. It's a good one. Okay, so I'll give you a minute or two to make your own version of the context for the intro, please post it in the chat. Okay. Depicts the city from what it was in 1958 to now. Depicts the development plan. It's not a plan. It's just the development. So let's get rid of this one word. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so now we want to work on the overview. You can say overall. It can be seen that you can always begin this way. Okay, so let's do our overview now. Remember, the overview needs to match the structure of the body paragraphs. So what are a couple big things that you can mention in the overview? Because you don't want it to be too general and you don't want it to be too specific. It has to have that fine balancing line. So you have to find that balance between too general and too specific. It's that Goldilocks zone where you have to summarize the big changes, but not too specifically, because then it's going to be repetitive for such a short task. So that's why I'm using language like this. Entertainment and visitor facilities, modern business district, additional residential developments. So if you can work these in to your overview, that would be ideal. Developments. Okay, perfect. All right, any questions so far? Any comments?